20 months ago, this player was worth nothing. Not cheap, nothing. A free agent that Chelsea had seen and passed on, that Crystal Palace passed on, Rangers, Bournemouth, Olympiacos, all passed. Even clubs in Major League Soccer and their reserve teams said no. Today, Real Madrid are negotiating a package that could reach 135 million euros for him. His name is Yan Diomande. He's 19. And this is the story of how a kid who started out playing football in plastic sandals became the most wanted teenager in Europe. And, more importantly, what exactly he does on a pitch that makes grown men pay that kind of money for one season of evidence. Watch out for one training session in Spain. It lasted less than an hour, and it changed his entire life. And subscribe in advance. If the video doesn't deliver, you can just unsubscribe at the end. Deal? Let's start in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, 2006. Yan is born in Abidjan into a house where, by his own account published in the Players Tribune, around 25 people live together. Football is everywhere and equipment is nowhere. He starts out playing in plastic sandals. At 9 years old, he leaves home for an academy far from his family. A 9-year-old, living away from his mother, sometimes without proper food. And on the wall of that childhood is one hero, Cristiano Ronaldo. Yan doesn't have a Ronaldo shirt, so he takes a cheap Manchester United shirt and writes the name and the number 7 on the back himself by hand. At 15, the big break arrives, an academy in Florida in the United States. He flies across the world barely speaking English, alone again. And this is where the story should accelerate. Instead, it collapses. Because for the next 2 years, Yan Diomande is a trialist. Chelsea look at him, Crystal Palace look at him, Bournemouth, Rangers, Olympiacos, training stints, trial matches, hotel rooms, flights. Not one contract. MLS clubs pass on him. So do their reserve sides. And then his American visa expires, and a 17-year-old with no club and no offers flies home to Africa with his European career, by any normal reading, finished. Sit with that for a second. Every professional scout who watched him, dozens of them at some of the richest clubs on earth, decided he wasn't worth a contract. And then a tiny Spanish club changes everything. Leganés, a modest side outside Madrid, is owned by Jeff Luhnow, the former general manager of baseball's Houston Astros, one of the most famous data executives in American sport. His football operation is built to find exactly this: talent the big club's eyes have missed. According to Opta, Luhnow showed the Leganés head coach a video of Diomande on YouTube and told him he might be looking at a new Messi. In November 2024, they sign him. For free. He goes into the reserve team. Now, that training session I promised you. During an international break, the reserves play the first team, and Diomande takes them apart. He's beating senior professionals so repeatedly that the coaching staff ask for him to be taken off the pitch. The first team defenders are visibly rattled, and the session is being ruined. The next day, he's promoted to the first team. 1 session. That was the entire audition. And a few weeks later, his debut arrives at the most absurd venue imaginable, the Santiago Bernabéu, against Real Madrid. The kid nobody signed, in a team fighting relegation, in the biggest stadium in the world. He beats Rodrigo. He escapes Bellingham. He nearly wins a penalty. And afterwards, he swaps shirts with Kylian Mbappé. 16 months later, that same club is trying to buy him. Leganés got relegated. His entire senior career at that point was 6 games and 2 goals. On that evidence alone, 6 matches, RB Leipzig paid around 20 million euros to trigger his release clause. Everyone said it was insane. Then Germany happened. 33 Bundesliga matches, 12 goals, 8 assists, rookie of the season, a hat-trick in 18 minutes against Frankfurt, the second youngest hat-trick in the history of the league. At 19 years and 114 days, the 4th youngest player ever to reach 10 Bundesliga goals. Among everyone under 24 in Europe's top 5 leagues, only Lamine Yamal produced more league goal contributions. And there's a detail from Leipzig I love. His teammates nicknamed him the German because the boy from Abidjan started showing up about 90 minutes before training every single day. So now the real question. What is it exactly that makes clubs value him at over 100 million? Because it isn't the 12 goals. Plenty of wingers score 12. It's what he does before the goal. Football's most valuable and rarest skill right now is the ability to move the ball forward by yourself, to take possession in your own half and personally break the opponent's first and second line without needing a passing combination to do it. Look at where Diamande finished in the Bundesliga last season. Take-ons attempted per 90 minutes, 7.7, first in the league. Successful take-ons, 118, first. Progressive carries of 10 meters or more, 174, first. Duels won, 437, first. Top speed, 36.3 kilometers an hour. But here's the number that actually explains the price tag. Take-ons that carried the ball directly into the penalty area, 21, first in the league by a massive margin. That kills the usual criticism of highlight dribblers. He isn't just a counter-attacking sprinter running into empty grass. He beats people in the tightest, most crowded space on the pitch, the 18-yard box. And he isn't a black hole with the ball either. After those dribbles, he created more chances for teammates than shots for himself, at 84% passing accuracy, well above the roughly 75% average for forwards. Add the physical profile, genuinely two-footed, so a defender can never show him one way. Explosive over the first 2 meters and still fast over 40, and strong enough at around 1.80 meters to hold contact without losing balance. That combination, two-footed, explosive, physical, elite dribbler, 19 years old, is one of the scarcest assets in world football. That's what 100 million buys. And then the World Cup did the strangest thing to his value. 4 matches for Ivory Coast. He became the first Ivorian teenager ever to play at a World Cup. He scored 0 goals, and his country went out in the round of 32 to Norway. And his price went up anyway. Why? Because in 4 games, he created 11 chances. Against Ecuador, he beat Piero Hincapié 4 separate times and manufactured 5 chances in a 1-0 win. Scouts weren't watching his finishing. They were watching a 19-year-old dismantle international fullbacks repeatedly on the biggest stage in the sport. He didn't score at the World Cup. He got more expensive at the World Cup. Which brings us to why it's Real Madrid and why the number is this high. Madrid have a structural problem. Vinícius plays left, Mbappé drifts left and central, Rodrigo prefers left. They are stacked with players who all want the same side of the pitch, and they have no elite, explosive, natural right winger. Diamande solves that. And because he plays both flanks, he's either Vinícius' partner or, if the contract talks fail, Vinícius' replacement. Madrid may be buying both at once. Meanwhile, Leipzig hold every card. He's under contract until 2030, they don't need to sell, and PSG, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City were all circling. One honest note before you take the headline literally. As I record this, the deal is not officially done. Madrid's opening bid of around 90 million was rejected. Leipzig want 120 plus bonuses. ESPN reported a package up to 135, and his public market valuation sits around 90. Everything above that is the premium for age, contract length, and scarcity. So, from a house with 25 people and a handwritten Ronaldo shirt, to a boy nobody would sign, to a training session that lasted less than an hour, to the Bernabeu. And remember the number that started all of it. Not 20 million, not 130, 0. What Chelsea, Rangers, and MLS decided he was worth 20 months ago. So tell me in the comments, how does an entire industry miss a player like this? And is he the next great winger, or the most expensive one-season bet in years? And if you want to see how insane the rest of this transfer window has gotten, that breakdown is already on the channel.